How to build your product listing for big results with Amazon FBA private labeling. Hey, I'm Daniel Arneson, and in this video I want to share with you the most important elements of an Amazon FBA private label product listing and how to really build one that gets traffic and converts, which are two of the most important roles of an Amazon FBA private label product listing. I think we can just jump right in. This is an incredibly important topic and I think you'll get a lot out of this. So come join me on my computer here and I'll show you exactly how this works with some cool flow charts and things like that.
Now let's talk about setting up the product on Amazon. So it's very important for you to understand that the product page is your only page for the product on Amazon. So it is an absolutely critical asset. So this is like your sales page. It's the only true page to sell your product on Amazon. And it serves two purposes. Number one is bringing in traffic. Thus, it must be optimized to show up in search because that's where the majority of the traffic from Amazon, the organic Amazon traffic, is going to come from. And number two, bringing in sales. Thus, it must be optimized to convert. With that in mind, let's cover each topic here in a bit more detail. So for search or traffic, as part of our research or the product validation phase, you should have identified a set of 1 to 5 search terms to focus on with your product to start with. So we covered this earlier here in the crash course. To start, we want to focus on 1 to 5 search terms only with the product. This is very important. Simply then combine these at the very front of the title and place each one on one of 5 backend search term fields. And I should repeat this because it's very important. Just place one on each of the 5 backend search term fields you have when you set up the listing. Do not stuff it with a bunch of search terms. Just use the ones you want to focus on. And bullet points and description are far less important here when it comes to the search. Basically, 80% is just the title and the backend. And then your click-through rate from the search, so how relevant your product is, how good your title is again, and also the main image. So, like I mentioned, the click-through rate is really important. And this is, what people see when they search and if your product is showing up, ranking. And you want this to be really optimized so people want to click on your product. That is critically important. And here's a tip for you. You can start your title with an all caps differentiator. For example, premium in all caps. That has kind of been a trademark of mine for a long time, to use that at the front of a title. You can also use something like #1 rated, best selling, brand new, something like that. And it's not really, within Amazon's terms of service in many ways. So you may be asked to remove it, but then that's fine. You'll just remove it. But trust me that the click-through rate improvement you might see from that can really have a massive impact for you when you're starting out. So then that helps, and Amazon actually likes obviously high click-through rate. But just like with that, and like you see in this image, it has some like icons in the image. That's also done to increase the click-through rate, but it's not really allowed. So if Amazon tells you to remove it immediately. But sometimes you won't get any notifications on that, and it's fine. Now, when it comes to conversions for your product, we want to look at the whole product listing and specifically the anatomy of a product listing. So here is like the layout of product listings. And, this is a handout from the Infinity Code program, but I'm going to show it to you here. So basically, this is the layout, right? It starts with the product title. Then you have images, bullet points, below that pretty much description, questions, answers, and then reviews. And the most important thing here for conversions by far are your images. So the product title is probably the most important thing of all, because you need that to be done right to really rank and get the traffic and click-through rate and things like that, so people come to your listing. But also your main image needs to be attractive. But now when someone is on the actual listing, the images become critical and they really tell the story about your products. You want to make sure that the images are really good and high quality. And I've used 3D renders for basically forever, because the quality you'll get from 3D rendering is way higher than you can ever get from photography. And the cool thing is that it's actually less expensive. It's time consuming, so it's not completely inexpensive, but it's less expensive than professional photography. Plus, the logistics of it are just way simpler. There's so many benefits, you know. The quality, like I said, is much better. You have much more control over like shadows and shine and angles. And once it's been created once, like that 3D render model of the product, you can reuse it at any time for a new image. So it's really important for you to have a good 3D render artist in your corner to help you with this. And you can do so much with the images, not only like the quality and how it looks and feels, and you want it to really stand out, but also you can include infographics, you can include lifestyle images like the product being used, and you should have a combination so that it's really attractive. And over time, it's critical to continue to improve and work on the images so they have a bigger and bigger appeal with your audience and give you a higher and higher conversion rate. Plus, now that you only have 3 to 5 search terms, you can really laser target those with your images, like telling the exact story that someone is coming based off of. Like if someone types in, like the example I given previously here in the crash course, someone types in black glass French coffee press, then of course, like the glass element, for example, is important, and the blackness, you know, like the color. So you need to really display, like let's say another search term is like waterproof something. It wouldn't be probably a French press, but something else like waterproof watch or something. So now you really want to display in the images that it's really waterproof, because that's something someone has in their brain when they're looking for that term. So if you want to rank there, you want them to come to your product from that search, you want to really appeal to them based off of that search with the images and then the rest of the actual listing. Another thing with the images that's cool if you do 3D rendering is that now you can have your images made before the product is even made, so they can be ready from day one once the product is ready. If you did it with photography, then you would have to like send the product once it's ready to the photographer and all of that, and that can delay you by weeks, and you wouldn't be able to launch the product like right on time. And if anything changes, then you have to do the whole thing again, versus with 3D renders, you can just quickly edit that. So it's really powerful stuff, 3D renders for images. And you want to really use the space, like the 8 images you have, well. Bullet points, also important, very important for conversions. You want to highlight like the benefits and the value and the bullet points, make them clear and concise. But really, this is also another way for you to really optimize conversions and improve the sales and success of your product, because really conversions are everything on Amazon. So you can experiment and test bullet points to optimize it over time. Description, I like to set this up as like a bit more detailed, you know, on the actual product, but pretty much like a small sales letter, like perhaps like telling more of a story behind the product, but also like really highlighting some of the features. Now the questions and answers, you can seed that right away, put some questions and answers in there, but also you want to really be diligent answering people. And I'll talk about that later in the crash course when we go into the maintenance. And then reviews, of course, very important. And you know, we have some really special cool methods for gaining reviews, which we teach our students in Infinity Code. And really just, you want to obviously get it organically by selling the product. So everything we've been talking about. And then, you know, really optimize that, respond to every review. And, you know, ideally like the best reviews are showing up first. You know, if you can get a video review or images in the review, that's really helpful. So really good reviews in there. So pretty much like the big thing here with setting up your product on Amazon is for you to understand that conversions are king on Amazon. So when it comes to being successful on Amazon, conversions are everything. I see a lot of people like misunderstand this part of it. They believe that somehow through marketing and things like that, they can just like basically ignore this part or forget about it or not really think about it. So like if people, basically you're saying like if people don't want to buy my product, then I'm gonna like force them to with marketing. But it's just never gonna work, because if you think about it, when you come to Amazon, you've got a ton of options. Why would you ever buy a product that you don't really want to buy? Like, why would you ever choose to buy this product versus another one if the other one is more attractive? Like, it's more what you want, it's more appealing, it's got more proof of concept, like more social proof, whatever you have in there as the, as part of the equation. So you must get your product to convert well as priority number one. And you do this first, like I showed you earlier here in the crash course. Find winning search terms that really are ripe for the picking and that you can really come in and convert well for quickly because you're filling a gap. Remember the flywheel. So that's step number one. But then you really must also work to iterate and optimize. So I'm going to show you how to analyze and optimize products here in just a bit. But you must run that process so that you're measuring and testing and scientifically iterating on the product conversions and improving them over time. That's really the only way to truly succeed long term with a product on Amazon in a massive way. Not just like get some sales here and there, but really have it explode. And one product can, make you wealthy if you've done everything right and it has good profit margins and then it converts well. I mean, one product can make you wealthy. So just keep that in mind. Just realize that I don't think anyone has ever been really successful on Amazon with a product that doesn't convert well. It's just that simple. So you must focus on the conversions. They are king. So with the listing, there's two things. There's traffic and conversions. So you have to have a listing that's optimized for traffic and specifically laser focused on the actual search terms that you're focusing on, and then a listing that converts. So again, laser focused on converting for those specific few terms that you're focused on. That's going to make it so much easier for you to convert well and be successful and rank and get visibility and traffic. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.